This is my 1989 Series 1 VN Commodore, and it has 155,000 kilometers on it. I'm happy to say that it is the best one that I have ever seen in person, and I'm lucky enough that it is mine. However, it isn't perfect. What I'm hoping to do in this video is change one of the headlights. At one stage, it's had some of the headlights replaced, and I've managed to get another one. Now, the reason this is significant, there's nothing wrong with this one, but these ones have the Holden logo in them, which is extremely rare and really cool, but it is dirty. So what we're going to do is pull this headlight apart, clean it on the inside, and then swap it all over. And while we're doing that, we're going to pull the bumper off. The passenger side has just slipped off the bracket, nothing's broken, so that's another easy fix. It's also missing some boot carpet, so we're going to sort that out. And we're going to change the seatbelt clips as well, because they are really faded. So I'm really actually excited about this car. This is the first video I've made about it since I did the overview. All right, the first thing we're going to do is pull apart this headlight, pull the glass off, and that's because it's all dirty inside. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm really nervous to do this. I've never done this before. I have sort of looked up how to do it, but the first step is to get all of these clips off. But if you don't know, these headlights are really expensive because they have the Holden logo in the glass. So I am scared to do this. Wish me luck. God, even the headlight has that classic VN smell. If you know VNs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, that's all the clips. Now I've got to try and carefully separate this. Oh yes. Okay, that's worked well. Now what you can see is exactly what I'm talking about. Look how dirty and disgusting that is in there. So that's what we're going to be doing, cleaning that. Nice new cloth. Again, this is probably going to be overkill because there's going to be headlight protectors on this, but you know what? I'm going to have the peace of mind that this is nice and clean. And that's why we do these things, you know? That's why you're into cars. We're not looking for perfection there, but we just don't want to have gross dead bugs. That's what I'm talking about. Look how much better that looks. Really happy with that. So, oh, Jesus. Okay, look at that. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but that is infinitely better for, honestly, how long that took. I might even do the other side, depending on how dirty it is. And now for the next part, I've got to pull the front end off. Bar, headlight, or well, at least this headlight, and the grille. That's the other thing that I want to do in this video, actually, I've just remembered, is clean the engine bay. We're not going to go crazy, just a bit of a wipe down. Now we're going to be pulling off the front bar together. I have obviously not pulled the front bar off before, so hopefully there's not too much crazy damage or anything. But so far, we're looking good. The condenser is dead straight. Now, one thing I always do when I'm pulling off bits like these and like these headlight protectors, I always put these inside the car. I know it sounds lame, but it's so easy if you have these on the floor, whatever, to misstep and stand on it. And these have no chance being 35-year-old plastic that's sat in the sun. So these are going inside the car. Obviously, I've got to swap this indicator over onto the new one. This is the old one on the left here. I'm just going to steal the cup and the globes from this one because this new one doesn't have them. All right, so I just had to pull this off the old headlight. I can tell you right now that, God's sake, I can tell you right now that getting this back on is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm not looking forward to this. It actually wasn't hard at all, the headlights in there, but one thing that is a bit of a bugger, which I didn't realise, is the Parker light. That is blue tack. Not really what I would prefer in a headlight, sort of a heat arrangement. I understand why they've done it, because for whatever reason this is cooked. Don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. So we're at the front of the VN at the moment, and what I'm going to try and do, hopefully, you can't really see, but there's a few bolts just here. I'm just going to try and loosen them, and hopefully this can just slide back a little bit. It's only got to come like only 5 mil or so just to get it back. You can see just there, it's just come off the bracket, and I really want to fix this because I hate the way that this looks. I look at it every time. So what we're going to do is just loosen them. Now, I know that a lot of people don't love these, but you know what? I do. I think the headlight protectors are just one of those signs that the car is looked after. Very cool. Again, it is a bit of a bugger that bracket is probably a little bit cooked, but what are you going to do? When I was putting on the bumper, I did try and push it up with my legs so that it was hard up against the bottom of the grille, and that has really worked. Last thing you want is big gaps here. Next thing we're going to do is just give the engine bay a wipe down. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to pressure wash it. I'm just going to use a cloth and some soapy water. So, again, I'm not saying this is a good way to do it, but that's what I'm doing. On second thought, this is working even less well than than I had anticipated. So we might just leave this for another day. Again, this is never going to be a concourse car. You know, it's not a perfect car. It is an honest VN that has, well, it's a survivor, frankly. The next day, and another thing that I really wanted to do on the checklist of the VN is just tyre shine all the tyres. Now, I really don't like that whole look of super clean, fresh tyres. I've just got some cheap tyre shine here. Try and sort of scrub it almost. More just want them clean than want them that shiny, that fake black shiny stuff. You can sort of see what I mean just by doing that. It's sort of almost like a dull black colour, and I think that looks much better than the fake shine. So yeah, all I do is spray it into a cloth and give it a wipe, and I think it looks way better. Last thing that I want to do is change the boot carpet. Now, as you can see, if I open the boot, oh, it's bloody dark in there. As you can see, it's pretty clean in here. The actual previous owner has done a lot of painting and tidying things up, but I do have the original boot carpet out of this car. There's our boot carpet. Now, as you can see, it definitely needs a vacuum. It is insanely dusty in here. Look at that. The rest of the car, though, does need a vacuum, so I guess we'll just do it all at the same time. Okay, so this is the next thing that's going on the VN. Now, this is a little bit controversial. I'm not sure whether I'm going to like this, but we're going to try it. So I've got some louvres from the VN. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember these and remember pulling them off and throwing them in the bin. So we're just going to pull all that off. I've already given it a clean and just give it some black paint. If you're ever putting these on, these are shockingly delicate. They are extremely soft, extremely delicate. So you have to be really, really careful when you're transporting these, which is why this one has had a timber backing. But this one is in great nick, and I also am going to be replacing all the clips. Now, in terms of what paint am I using, I'm using this Duramax Satin Black. Now, this car is never going to be in the sun, really, other than on a few short trips, so I'm not really too worried about fading it, but it is pretty good paint anyway, and I always go for Satin Black. It's just a great combination of not too shiny, but still looking new. Alright, well, my first thoughts are it's really black. I'm not sure if I've actually picked the right colour, but I guess we'll wait till it's on the car. If it is wrong, I'm going to go change it and maybe get like a rocker grey, like a sort of dark grey similar to the bumpers. Alright guys, now it is time to put them on. Sorry for the delay, it has been quite a few days, but I've gone and put all the glue on the clips. The louvres are ready to go, so now we're just going to put them on. I have already cleaned the glass. It's quite dusty and it's a little bit loud in the shed today, but it's all nice and clean. It's ready to go. So basically what you do is you sit the louvers where you want them, and you just put like a dot with a texter, and then you line up that dot with this dot, and then you stick these to the window. Pretty straightforward. Now I've just got this green texter that's around the shed, and I'm just going to do a little dot right in the center there of everyone. I've just realised that I'm actually missing 2. I thought that there would be enough in this kit to do these louvres, and there's not, but that's okay. It'll be enough that I can mount them. I'm only missing 3, I think, so I'll be able to mount them and drive with it, but I would like to get another kit, just so that, well, so they stay on really. I was kind of putting this off, but this is actually not that hard, if I'm honest. Alright, those are all that I have on. It is actually kind of disappointing. I'm missing 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 3 or 4, so that's a bit of a shame. At least that's enough to get it on and show you guys what it looks like, and I can sort of drive around with it on. You know, it's not going to go far. Probably wouldn't daily it with it missing a few, but I don't really drive this car that much anyway. Okay, so I found that the key to not stripping them was to sort of hold it around the clip and then turn it, because I don't want to strip this little plastic thing. It's really quite delicate. Alright, that is done for the VN video. I know that this is going to be one of the more controversial things, the Louvres. A lot of people don't really love them. And I actually kind of agree. I think that a lot of cars it doesn't suit, but for some reason this car, it really does suit it. I'm really happy with how this thing looks. Unfortunately as well, I was driving it the other day and the bumper bracket came off again, so I think that that whole bracket is going to need replacing. I'd also like to replace this rear bar in the center. It just has a bit of a mark in it. I need to get some more clips for the Louvres. And the car needs a really good detail, and I think that I'm going to give it to Daz the detailer, because I took my other VN there and it came up really, really good, so I think that this one would look great. I really hope that you guys enjoy these kind of videos. There's plenty more like this to come, me fixing up my other cars and also doing overviews of other people's cars. So if this is your kind of content, please follow along, and thank you for watching.